True, nervous, very dreadfully nervous. I had been and am. Why will you say that I am mad? The disease has sharpened my senses, not dulled them. Watch as I calmly tell you the whole story. It's impossible to say how first the idea entered my mind, but once it did, it haunted me day and night. I loved the old man. He had never done me wrong, never given me insults. I believe it was his eye, yes. One of his eyes resembled that of a vulture with a pale veil over it. It was then that I decided to take the old man's life and rid myself of the eye forever. Now, this is the point you fancy me mad. Madmen know nothing. You should have seen how kind I was to the old man the whole week before I killed him. Every night, about midnight, I would check on him in his chambers, but I would always find that the eye was closed, so I could never do the deed. It was not the old man who vexed me, but his eye. But upon the 8th night, I was extra cautious. I had my head in his room, and I was about to open the lantern when my thumb slipped on the tin fastening. The old man sprang from the bed and crying out, "Who's there?" I kept still, quiet for an entire hour. I did not hear him lie down, but I did hear a slight groan. I knew it was the groan of mortal terror. It was not the groan of pain or of grief. Oh no, it was a low, stifled sound that arises from the bottom of the soul, overcharged with awe. When I had waited a long enough time, I had decided to open a very little crevice of the lantern. I opened it stealthily, till at length a dim ray, like the thread of a spider, shot out from the crevice, and it fell upon the eye. It was wide open, and I grew furious as I gazed upon it. I saw it with perfect distinctiveness, all a dull blue with a hideous veil over it. It chilled the very marrow of my bones. But I could see nothing else of the man's face or person, for I directed the ray as if by instinct to the damned spot. Now, I have not told you that what you mistake for madness is merely sharpness of the senses. Now, I say there came to my ear a low, dull, quick sound, much like a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew the sound well, too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury, but even yet I refrained and kept still. I scarcely breathed. Meantime, the hellish tattoo of the heart increased. It grew quicker and quicker, louder and louder. Every instant, the old man's terror must have been extreme. It grew louder and louder every moment. Do you mark me well? I have told you I am nervous. It grew louder and louder. I thought the heart must burst. Now, anxiety seized me. The sound would be heard by a neighbor. The old man's hour had come. He shrieked only once. In an instinct, I dragged him to the floor and pulled the heavy bed over him. I then smiled to see that the deed was so far done. For many moments, the heart kept beating with a muffled sound. This, however, did not vex me. It would not be heard through the walls. At length it ceased. The old man was dead. His eye would vex me no longer. If still you think me mad, you will think so no longer, once I describe the precautions that I took in the concealment of the body. First, I dismembered the corpse. I took off the head, arms, and legs, and I took up 3 planks from the flooring, and I deposited the corpse within them. I then replaced the flooring of the chamber so cleverly, so cunningly, that no human eye, not even his, could tell the difference. There was nothing to wash out, no stain of any kind, no blood spot whatsoever. I had been too wary for that. When I had made the end of my labors, it was about 4 o'clock, still dark. As the bell sounded the hour, there came a knocking at the street door. I went down, with a light heart, for what had I to fear? There entered 3 men who introduced themselves as officers of police. A shriek had been heard by a neighbor. During the night, suspicion of foul play had been aroused, information had been logged, the police office, and they, the officers, had been deputed to search the premises. I smiled, for what had I to fear? I bade the gentleman welcome. The shriek I mentioned was but my own in a dream state. The old man I mentioned was absent in the country. I took my visitors all over the house. I bade them search well. I led them at length to his chamber. In my confidence, I brought chairs into the room and desired them here to rest, while I myself placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath where his corpse lied. The officers were satisfied. My manner had convinced them. I was at ease. They sat, and while I answered cheerily, they chatted of familiar things. But ere long, I felt myself getting pale and wished them gone. My head ached, and I fancied it ringing in my ears. But still they sat, still they chatted. The ring became more distinct. I talked more freely, wishing them gone. The sound continued until at length I found that the noise was not within my ears. No doubt I now grew very pale, but I talked more fluently and in a heightened voice, yet the sound increased. And what could I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound, much like a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I gasped for breath, and yet the officers heard not. I talked more quickly, but the noise steadily increased. I arose and argued about trifles in a high key, but the noise steadily increased. Why would they not be gone? I paced of the floor to and fro with heavy strides, but the noise steadily increased. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore, I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting, but the noise increased. It grew louder and louder, and still the men chatted pleasantly and smiled. Was it possible they heard not? Oh mighty God, no, they heard. They suspected, they knew. They would make a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think, but anything was better than this agony. I could bear their smiles no longer. I felt I must scream or die, and now again hark louder and louder. Villains, I admit the deed, tear up the planks. Here's the beating of his hideous heart.